Welcome back, everyone. Well, iOS 14.5 has been out for a minute now, and I have a whole stack of iPhones here I'll get into that in a second. Now, I'm not really too sure how to sum up this video in a way because iOS 14.5 is great in the features it's bringing, but it's also kind of weird in terms of the stability that I'm getting because going from, my iOS, 14.4 to 14.5 on my iPhone 12, I'm expecting it to not be perfect, but it's been pretty stable on this specific device. It's been predictable. And what I mean by predictable is that basically you know what you're expecting. You know with the beta, things are going to go wrong. You expect the phone to still function, but you don't expect it to like randomly just break and all that stuff. It can happen with the beta, but it's actually been a pretty stable experience on some of these newer iPhones, including the newly released iPhone 12. But strangely enough, it's also been stable for pretty much every single iPhone that I've installed it. That's an older iPhone, case in point, my iPhone 6s, 7, and iPhone 8. Now, these are the specific iPhones that I've already installed iOS 14.5 on. These are still on 14.4, and I'll do a kind of a speed comparison in a second between all of them. But I've been pretty much saying that on my older iPhones, it's been a very strange experience. It's been pretty stable for the most part. I think it's actually been more stable than I was expecting. And the features that iOS 14.5 brings, such as, the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, controller support, that's awesome. The Apple Watch unlocking, that's another really cool thing. But I was really hoping they would bring that Apple Watch unlocking for our iPhone 6s, the phones that have Touch ID, because sometimes there are situations where people are wearing gloves as well. And some gloves, they can't necessarily unlock with, Touch ID, as well as in the winter. I mean, think about it. When when you don't have Touch ID, when you have your gloves on, like not even medical gloves, but your actual, winter gloves and stuff, you can't unlock your phone either there. You have to, take it out and do that or type in the passcode. But there's just a whole sense of things there. I'm not even complaining about that so much. But the stability aspect is something that I wasn't expecting it to be as stable. Now, for the 6S specifically, I'll hit on this device first. It's actually been a pretty good ride. I think, I was expecting it to be more, unstable. But the funny thing is, and this is so strange, I don't know if I can reenact it, but on my iPhone 6s specifically, when I compare it, the older version of iOS to the newer one, which is iOS 14.4 and 14.5, I'm actually seeing some pretty weird results. So let me go ahead and clear all these apps that I was just testing in the background for a second. Now, if I open up phone calls 3, 2, 1, you can see, I think the iPhone 6s here on iOS 14.4 is slower, or on faster. Now, if I do their app stores 3, 2, 1, so kind of I would say the iOS 14.4 device, which is right here, was faster here, scrolling through, and I don't think I'm going to be able to replicate it. But the first time I did it, I was seeing that the inbuilt apps were faster on iOS 14.4, but the third-party apps that I installed were faster on 14.5. And not only was I seeing that on 14.5 on the 6S, I was also seeing it on the 8 and 7. So let me try out doing Facebook, 3, 2, 1. And 14.4 again was the faster one. I knew it was going to happen. So now we're seeing that the 14.4 is going to be faster. Let me go and do Twitter, 3, 2, 1. And again, 14.4 is faster, 14.5 behind. Snake versus blocks, 3, 2, 1. And we may just see that 14.5, no, again, 14.4 is the faster one here. And again, this is a beta, so it's going to get faster overall. And you can see 14.5 is glitching quite a bit there. 14.4 is glitching a little bit too, but that's very weird. I wasn't expecting iOS 14.4 to be this much faster already. Let's go ahead and do stack, 3, 2, 1. And this is going to be another case in point. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully 14.5 is faster, but even to get into the ad here, it was faster on the iPhone 6s. So I definitely do think on iOS 14.5 beta 1, we're seeing that speeds are actually going down, at least for the 6s. Now let me test the same thing for the iPhone 7. Now in this case, 14.5 is on the right, 14.4 is on the left. Now look at this, phone calls, 3, 2, 1, and all the apps are cleared out in the background, just kind of verifying it. Phone calls, 3, 2, 1. Again, 14.4 looked a little bit faster. Music, 3, 2, 1. Again, 14.5 is faster and is totally okay. App Store 3, 2, 1. Faster on the iPhone 7 running iOS 14.4 yet again. Scrolling through, going to be about the same. Let's just get into these third-party apps now. And it's shifted because first it looked like third-party apps were faster on 14.5 on all my devices. Now it kind of flip-flopped. Facebook 3, 2, 1. Now, as you can see, that was a very strange thing. I think it's fine, but it's just very interesting. It's just not a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a very interesting thing. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. it's strange to me that for some reason on 14.5, these third-party apps seem to be faster on 14.5, but the stock apps seem to be fast. But the stock apps seem to be faster on 14.4. Now, as you can see, this is another case in point where it flip-flopped on me. Sometimes phones do this, but as you can see, 14.4 is faster. 14.5, noticeable. I would say a little bit behind. Twitter 321, and about the same actually. I thought this one was gonna be faster, but it was about the same. Quizlet 321. And again, I think iOS 14.5 was faster. Let's go and end it off with something like Fruit Ninja 321, pretty basic game. And I think definitely 14.4 is still faster, but 14.5 still has, some ways to go. It's still in the beta, but I would probably say as a whole, I think more apps were faster on 14.5 than on 14.4 than on 14.5. Now let me show you with the iPhone 8. Now the iPhone 8 running iOS 14.5 is on the left. 14.4 is right here. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. So you can see kind of the same thing. Let's do app stores 3, 2, 1. Actually about the same here too. Scrolling through, pretty much the same thing. Not a ginormous difference by any means. Hopping out of there, let's open up these third-party apps to test my thesis one more time. Facebook 3, 2, 1. About the same actually, not a big difference. Twitter 3, 2, 1. My fingers are shaking because I'm trying to get it precise. 14.5 a little bit faster. Stack 3, 2, 1. And I think 14.4 was a little bit faster there. Netflix 3, 2, 1. And 14.5 was faster there. Hopping to the next one, Quizlet 3, 2, 1. And I think 14.5 is slightly faster just by a little bit. Dropbox 3, 2, 1. And you can see, I think 14.5 was faster there too. Let's go and end it off with Snake versus Blocks 3, 2, 1. And I think 14.4 was slightly faster there. So I think as a whole, as a consensus, possibly on the iPhone 8, it seemed to be the most stable. Obviously after the iPhone 12. But still, it's actually a pretty interesting thing about what's going on here. This is pretty normal for most betas. It's been a minute since I installed a beta, and on all these devices that I tested it through so far, I was saying that pretty much iOS 14 on these older devices, 14.5 specifically, is a little bit weird. iOS 14.5 on the newer devices, I would say the iPhone 8 and up are a little bit more stable, so keep that in mind. The features that iOS 14.5 is bringing are going to be awesome. I think like I said, Face ID unlocking with Apple Watch, PlayStation 5 remote support is going to be amazing, but I will say hopefully the speed does get a little bit better. I would hate for the speed to be decreased on these older iPhones. With these newer ones, like I said, with the iPhone 8 and up, I'm kind of seeing it to be a little bit more stable and a little bit more less, I guess, finicky in a way. But I just really hope these older iPhones, the iPhone 7s, 7 Pluses, iPhone 6S, 6S Pluses, are a little bit more stable at the end of the day, even the iPhone SE. So that really pretty much covers it up. So far, so good with the 14.5 though, I think as a whole. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much for you guys to hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.